Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast in Game 2 in a series between KiWiKaKi and merz here on Lost Temple. Merz spawning as the blue Terran player at what I'll call the 9 o'clock position, meanwhile KiWiKaKi spawning at the 6 o'clock position as the yellow Terran, yellow Protoss player here. So this is Lost Temple, and one of those maps that everyone should be familiar with, whether you come from StarCraft Brood War or Warcraft 3. Lost Temple was one of those maps that were pretty common. Lost Temple on StarCraft obviously looking a little bit different than it does on Warcraft 3. KiWiKaKi opting to open up with a pylon back over here, as opposed to placing the pylon closer to the ramp, hopefully trying to delay any scouting and perhaps making merz think that he did not actually scout out his opponent. The pylon now up and running, supplying some food. KiWiKaKi opening up with a pretty standard build now, chrono boosting, and now we'll see what exactly merz does. Is merz gonna go for the standard 12 racks? Yeah, he is gonna go for the 12 racks instead of going for refinery first. Refinery first was a little bit odd last game, and hopefully by playing a traditional game, he should be able to macro up and get a decent sized army to perhaps counter KiWiKaKi. Back here, we currently have a gateway now being warped in, and a simulator also being warped in as well. So KiWiKaKi pretty much using the same cookie cutter build order that all Protoss players use 95% of the time in a game, now being chrono boosted as well out of that Nexus, and now getting a stronger economy as well. So back over here, taking a look at merz. Merz doesn't have a barracks yet, so he should be able to upgrade to an orbital command in just a second. But we do see that he does not have a refinery. So without a refinery, that means he's most likely going to try to go for a more economic build, perhaps a command center at 17 or 18. Command center next does make a lot of sense, and we'll see if he will be able to hold on to that economic advantage that he's going to be trying to go for. He did train up one Marine. Where is that command center? Yeah, command center now being built there, and now having a Marine on the ramp here, allowing him to block any probes from trying to walk inside his base. He probably does need another supply depot as well, otherwise he may be supply locked, as he's now training up a Marine as well. And it looks like merz, no, he does have a supply depot down here, but he will be supply locked for a little bit of time, as he didn't start that supply depot nearly early enough. SCV now going to walk up this ramp, sees that there is a zealot there, and now just wander around on the inside here. His cybernetics core is down. We see a gateway is currently being warped in, or gateway is currently warping in a stalker. Cybernetics core now researching that warp gate ability. 2 Marines, a 3rd Marine going to join the party, and now more barracks still being placed down. So merc's going into a mass racks play, not max racks, 3 racks play, and hoping to get a lot of Marines. So those Marines are going to be able to perhaps shoot down that scouting probe with little to no effort whatsoever, and perhaps be able to push out and defend this natural expansion. This command center most likely will be upgraded to an orbital command. You can see that we are a mere 4 minutes and 50 seconds into this game, and this command center will already be done. So that command center started 100 seconds ago, so almost at the 310 mark. So yeah, a 310 mark. 4 Marines now making their way out. Is he going to catch the probe? And it looks like it will catch that probe. Yeah, down it goes. And the probe was taken down. We should probably also get a bunker here. Otherwise, those these stalkers and zealots will be able to simply charge into that location. Observer now being trained, as KiWiKaKi is playing in the dark. Right, he's currently playing in the dark, doesn't know what his opponent has. As soon as that observer is out and about, he will realize that how far behind he is in terms of the economic game. Taking a look at the harvester count, 27 probes versus 21 SCVs, but there are 2 sets of mules out. So those 2 mules give a slight advantage to merz. On top of that, he is mining from 16 mineral patches, which means that his SCVs will not be double mining nearly as much and not be wandering in between mineral patches in order to find more minerals to mine. Back here, in comes this observer. Observer does start to get sight here. Marines now making their way down, and you finally see double refineries being placed down a little bit late. KiWiKaKi looking around, wondering what's really happening, and he's going to move out to the expansion, and he most likely knows that there, yes, is in fact an expansion already down by merz. So KiWiKaKi now sets up his own expansion in order to be able to catch up in this game. Taking a look at the harvester count, 800 versus 800, so both sides about even, but we should be getting more mules coming in just a moment as well. Perhaps he wasted some energy on a scanner sweep, and now mass marines making their way out. Oh no, a lot of SCVs also in this attack as well. So this is going to be an SCV attack, but it does not work that well against Protoss with sentries. Those sentries are going to be able to split apart that army, use that guardian shield, and then by splitting up that army and using that guardian shield, those marines are only dealing maybe 3 damage per attack against those stalkers, against that stalker army, and now those sentries are able to just continue to push through. More SCVs now trying to barrel their way through, a lot of marines coming in as well. Sentries may get taken down here, and this expansion by KiWiKaKi may get shut down. SCVs now coming over to try to build, and it looks like, no, the probes now coming off the mineral line as well. So the probe's going to try to come in, try to flank in here, perhaps try to stop those marines from being able to swarm in, and yeah, the probes with those little particle disruptors will be able to finish off this attack force, and even though losing a lot of probes in the same fashion. So KiWiKaKi now down, or is he down to 36 harvesters. So even though KiWiKaKi lost a significant number of harvesters in that battle, merz lost even more. We can see that he now has double orbital command, so he's trying to mine out and mule more and trying to get a stronger economy going. But because KiWiKaKi already has another nexus, KiWiKaKi will be able to train up probes faster than merz can train up SCVs. On top of that, KiWiKaKi has enough energy to chrono boost a couple more of those probes out, helping him out. So merz now a little bit in a dangerous situation. His opening gambit to try to get a very strong economy doesn't have him with a strong economy at all. It's about even. As soon as you account in for the harvesters, 1300 versus 1400 back and forth. But as KiWiKaKi gets more energy onto those nexuses, is able to chrono boost and now throw down some additional gateways, KiWiKaKi is going to be able to push out with a very large army in just a matter of moments. Alright. Observers still wandering around on the inside of this base here. We can see Marauders and Marines joining in. Stimpack has been researched. There is a factory finally being placed down. And where is that factory? I could have sworn I saw a factory. There it is. A factory now being placed down. We may get a starport there as well. So a factory and starport leading into medevacs. merz hoping to be able to deal a lot of damage with this attacking force if he's able to get those medevacs fast enough. Now going into double refinery on the low ground expansion. So both players running off of 2-base play right now as this game continues. KiWiKaKi opting to go for a 5-gate and also going double forge again. So by going double forge, he's gonna have a much stronger upgraded army. So Colossus, Sentries, and Zealot, most likely robotics facility will be built as well in order to get the extended thermal lance range. Is that the real reason why you even go for double forge? So double forge now placed down, and now we also have stalkers and sentries just wandering around, perhaps trying to finish off these set of destructible rocks. And then placing down another nexus. Observer keeping track of merz's base. merz is still only running off of 2 bases. He does have a decent number of bunkers here. 3 bunkers, 2 marauders inside. They are going to be able to deal a significant amount of damage and also protect the occupants inside. The observer is still patrolling in between these 2 locations. As we see another barracks, we can also see a starport being built, starport with the reactor, so we should be seeing some medevacs. I'm not sure why we don't see any medevacs just quite yet. Army-wise, 1800 versus 2050, but obviously the Protoss army is much stronger in terms of gas, 1225 versus 375. Destructible rocks have been cleared away. merz looking to set up an expansion here. It looks like he will be able to do so in just a moment, and this game will continue on. Both players playing a game of Sim City in the StarCraft universe, trying to build the best possible city, trying to build a large army, and then pushing out at just the right moment. Are we getting yeah, we already have a Twilight Council. We are now going into a Templar Archives. So Psystorm is going to be joining in on this fight. And Psystorm on infantry always works out very well. But merz now opting to try to do something sneaky. 7 Marauders and 2 Marines. to try to put pressure. And I think KiWiKaKi will just place down these pylons just in time in order to gain sight on those units there. Now KiWiKaKi, does he see those medevacs? No, he doesn't see the medevacs, as the medevacs do not reveal anything at all. Perhaps we're going to have a drop along this backside here, and that drop will be very, very effective, as those drops are very, very difficult to deal with. And now we can already see KiWiKaKi trying to return home. Marauders and Marines now being dropped off. That's a little bit later than I thought they would be. Marauders and Marines finally being dropped off there, and now Stalkers coming in from behind both sides, trying to deal as much damage as possible. Another Stalker now taken down. Medevacs trying to heal and repair more and more of those units here. The Marauders, however, now stuck in a very, very bad situation. Needs to be picked up. Hot pickup there, and now perhaps another drop on the low ground expansion. And in order to deal more damage, is he going to do it? Yes, he is going to do it. Now going after more of those probes. More units now going to get shot down here. Marauder could drop 2 more medevacs, and there we go. 2 medevacs, 2 Marines trying to fight up against a very, very large Protoss army. And KiWiKaKi able to handle that drop pretty effectively. Now sitting on 70 probes. So 70 probes, a very strong army indeed, as these units are once again on the move. There should be some High Templar. No High Templars in this group yet, just sentries. Unit-wise, we have 3 High Templars, but I'm not sure where they are, as now more Marines are being dropped in here. 1 medevac down to 36 hit points. Stalkers may try to finish off that last medevac there. Down it goes, and Marines now trying to shoot out at the rest of those units. Not going to be able to really take any more of those down. A Nexus is over here. Perhaps we will mine some more minerals and getting it transferred over. Now getting some photon cannons as well. So Mars setting up his gold mineral expansion first before KiWiKaKi, and that will give him a strong economy, especially with 3 mules now in play, and those 3 mules mining high yield minerals is going to help tremendously. Stalkers and sentries are once again on the move. Will they be able to push in here is the key question. Guardian Shield now being used, and now in comes this fight. Force Field, Psystorm hitting many of those units over there, and now more Psystorm being cast atop multiple units, and such a sea of blood here on Lost Temple. And now the Zealots and Stalkers are going to perhaps charge into the main base. If KiWiKaKi puts down some force fields right behind him, all those SCVs are going to get stuck. And no, it does not look like the force fields will be placed down. 1 observer in the air though, keeping track of these Marauders here. And now KiWiKaKi just opting to clean up this expansion, knowing that if this expansion is gone, he will be up on expansions, and that should give him a fair enough lead. The command center already starting to burn down to 400 hit points, but it does have enough time to land, repair, and get that work underway once again. Scanner sweep revealing that observer there. KiWiKaKi gonna lose that observer. Stalkers now continue to just push out, dealing more damage once again. The command center over here is burning, and we should probably be getting some SCVs to try to repair it in just a moment, but not quite sure why Merz isn't doing that just quite yet. He has it rallied into this location, which obviously that SCV cannot jump over cliffs, will not be able to do so. And now finally repairing that orbital command. Orbital command now up to 400 health, should be back up to full in the next minute or so. Scanner sweep revealing once again Marauders are 1-1, both sides battling without Zealots, and Zealots do have, I believe they had Zealot charge for just a moment. Yeah, no, they don't have Zealot, they do have Zealot charge, excuse me, but Psystorm now coming in, trapping many of those Marauders. Marauders getting caught in force fields, and now this Marauder army, even though it is larger, is going to have a very difficult time, as the Protoss player should be able to warp in off of 6 gateways, and also getting some Colossus as well, deal a lot of damage. Also, the level 2 weapons upgrade and the level 2 armor upgrades have been completed by, or will be completed by KiWiKaKi by the time Merz tries to move in. A second robotics facility finally in play, extended thermal lance now finally being researched as this game rolls on. KiWiKaKi, if you take a look at his income, 1700 versus the 14 or 1500 of Merz. Both players doing very well so far. Will Merz be able to put pressure on this backdoor and perhaps shut down this Nexus, or sorry, shut down the Zonaga Watchtower and then shut down some of these expansions? That's going to be absolutely critical. Ghost now trying to come in, but the Ghost quickly overexposed. No EMP shockwave at all. And now both sides just stutter stepping their way back. There's one EMP shockwave, but it did not hit any of those High Templars. And now Psystorm quickly trying to come in, trying to get some more Psystorm in. It doesn't look like he's gonna, oh, there's that one Psystorm preventing that army from retreating. Marauders upgraded 2-1. Marines upgraded 2-1 as well, as both of them are infantry. And merz just going mass MMM so far, not being very successful with it at all. KiWiKaKi, on the other hand, using his chrono boost once in a blue moon. So that's the reason why I believe 3 out of the 4 palaces have almost full energy, if not maximum energy, depending on the time that they were built. Zealots now guarding those SCVs as they do some long distance mining, hoping that the long distance mining will have enough minerals in order to carry them throughout the rest of the game until they're able to establish this expansion here. Upgrade to an orbital command is possible, or an upgrade to a planetary fortress, as the planetary fortress is able to fight back. 2 medevacs simply now coming into the base, gonna start dropping into this location here. Marauders falling out of the sky, gonna go after those units one at a time, but 4 Colossus is quickly gonna make short work of all of those Marauders and Marines. Down they go. Yeah, and down they go. So KiWiKaKi just still looking very, very pretty at this stage. Marauders and Marines now trying to move out. There are some Ghost and some Marauders as well, but with the Ghost, High Templar are countered, but not the Colossus. He really needs to get a extended thermal length. Sorry, he really needs to get Vikings in order to be able to fend off and fight against those Colossus. Ghost now once again in full retreat. Marauders are going to be trying to heal up. Perhaps we're going to see a nice, decent flank over here. 2 Stalkers now fighting about Colossus. EMP Shockwave hitting a lot of those units there, but I believe it's not going to matter, as KiWiKaKi has such a large force, a much larger force indeed, almost double in size, especially with that siege range on those Colossus. And now those medevacs aren't going to be able to do much. Oh, another EMP Shockwave, depleting all the energy on all of those Colossi and those shields. Perhaps he was hoping that the EMP Shockwave would force them to retreat home, but the Vikings quickly now shot down, as well as we now see 6 Colossi, 7 Colossi now coming in as well. Marauders not getting cleaned up, and yeah, that's going to be game. So merz losing to KiWiKaKi here on Lost Temple. This is game 2 in a best of 3 series, I believe, from the TSL Open. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Root KiWiKaKi and merz here on Lost Temple. I'll let the replay just continue until the game is over. And there's the GG. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening.